Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Night coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast. This is episode 57, if I'm not mistaken. It's been at least 2 months since we recorded together last time. I think it was like July 23rd. Where we in? September the, what is this?
17th.
17th. So yeah, been quite a while. We got a lot of shit to talk about. We jumping right into things. I got my man Pancheezy with me, Rick Dom, Rectangular. Fabio is going to be coming soon, I think.
Yeah, he's doing like some type of sketch show right now. So as soon as he's done doing an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyways, he'll be here.
Exactly. So yeah, Rick, take it away. What you got over the past 3 months or 2 months? Just some quick hits. What you got?
Jesus Christ. Thinking big hits. I want to say one of like the most impressive things I've gotten in that time that isn't AI ninjas is the Mezco Red Arrow or Arsenal. Man, that figure is so incredible. Those two are like my favorite DC that they've done so far.
Did they? I don't know if I saw some pictures of that figure that do look really nice. But did they give him more ankle articulation? Have they been updating the pivot on the Mezco figures or not really?
Honestly, I don't believe so. It feels just like Green Arrows. If they did anything, it was like completely unnoticeable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the frustrating thing about the ankle articulation on the Green Arrow and on the Red Arrow is the fact that like you can feel that like it's kind of there. You know, that's always the worst thing that you can do with articulation is kind of have it there, but not super functional.
Right.
It's really annoying. Thankfully though, like I guess it just comes with the fact that these are fabric figures in this scale. Like, I'm not ever down to move the legs in that way where I need it yet. But maybe one day I'm going to be daring and I'm going to split this fucker's legs open and I'm just going to be like, damn it. No ankle. That sounded pretty bad, but you know what I mean? I've not, it's just not crossed my mind to do that. It's not like with Legends where, you know, I'm putting these fuckers in acrobatic, like, super crazy poses and stuff like that. Like, you know, you kind of walk caution with it. And I don't know if we do, I know a lot of people have wanted us to bring guests on here. If we ever bring Pierre from Mezco on here, I would really love to ask what they're doing with the ankle pivot. You know, maybe we'll set that up and see what they say. But the Arsenal had improvements on the Arrow figure, thankfully. So that was good. It had improvements.
If I see here at New York Comic Con, I'll definitely ask him. What's up?
I mean, you know, it can be a no pressure thing. You know, we tell him we'll have the questions ahead of time so he doesn't feel like anything's sprung upon him, put him on the spot or anything like that.
Back in the box, no doubt.
Exactly. But this Arsenal, although the ankle pivots weren't improved, there was improvements on it. The fabric on the hood, on the lining of the hood, it had like a little bit of a fraying problem with the Green Arrow. Second one from Big Bad Toy Store because I wasn't happy with how it looked. So they fixed that, and they also made the bow completely functional. Like it works like it's an actual bow.
Really?
Yeah, and the Green Arrows wasn't like too great. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything. Visually, it's fantastic. You know, probably the best bow we've had in the scale. Visually at least, but functionality wise, the string was kind of weak. It was just kind of I wasn't a fan of it, and they totally changed the string material on the bow, so that was cool. Enough of Mezco though. I got a lot of articulated icons in that time that we've been gone. I'm sure a lot of us got in on that sale, so I got as much as I could. I got 4 Red Ninjas. I got the not Silver Samurai. I got another Shinobi. And I think that was it because the ones that I wanted have still not gone up yet besides those. Like I want the Drunken Master and all those other guys that we didn't get in the Labor Day. That was what the holiday was, right? Labor Day?
Yes. The Master was probably one of my favorite non-ninja figures.
Yeah, that guy looks fantastic. He's one that I really, really want.
That guy in the Itami, the dude with the black gi.
Oh, yeah, I got him as well in the Labor Day sale. He was fantastic. Mine, I was doing the Craig Warwick trick with fixing the legs, and Fumetsu was the first figure that I ever did it on, and I got overly like sandy with it, and one of the legs is ball joints is pretty loose, but I'm gonna put a little bit of clear nail polish and tighten it up again. Thankfully, I didn't have that problem with any other one, other than that one that I just got a little too trigger happy on, and I was just fucking sanding away. I was able to get Black Series Hera. That was great, filling out the Rebels team. We got Thrawn, the villain of the show, for the past season and this one coming. What else was I able to get? I'm almost done finally with a Man-Thing, giant size Man-Thing. So that's good. I don't speaking of Legends, I don't understand like how how the hell they could bring out Ares that way again. I mean, that thing is busting out of the damn box. Like, it looks like a joke of a repack. Like, the tape on all of the ones that I've had is like holding on for dear life. Like,
yeah. I was still. Man. It's funny you bring that figure up because I'm literally messing with them right now. But I just hate the way the legs keep popping out. It's not terrible where you can't get them back in and have it in whatever pose that you put it in originally, but I don't know. It's like whack-a-mole with this thing, man. Like, you get one thing down and something else pops up. So like,
yeah, I was watching your interview with Dwight where you guys were talking about it, and I was just thinking to myself, like, man, I've not had that problem with my Ares, and I hope it doesn't. Now that I say that, I'm gonna jinx it, and it's gonna happen as soon as I mess with it. But so far, like the past 2 weeks that I've had him, I've not had that issue. And I really hope that doesn't happen to mine, because when you said it, I was like, Jesus, that sounds like a nightmare.
Terrible, because it's not to the point where like it's super loose and it's not functioning. Like, the ball peg still works. You can still rotate it with it out of the pelvis socket. You can still mess with it. The double jointed knees, obviously, that was sorely needed, and the ankle pivot was sorely needed. But I really wish they would have given them new arms, and we would have got double jointed elbows, and really the whole upper torso needed to be new. You know what I'm saying?
I was just thinking, like, man, that neck is absolutely horrible. Like, it is just like when your neck doesn't move as much as a DCUC, you fucked up. Like, those figures are just the epitome of terrible necks, and they move more than this guy.
But that was one figure that I actually got recently was Ares. Shout out to my man Ed, who's up here from who's he's going to school at NYU here. This is somebody that's followed my channel literally since he was a kid, and now he's going to college here in New York. So he's been coming by my job and borrowing supplies and shit. And
man, there you go. You follow A.C.B.A, you get into universities. We're not talking community colleges.
Right. So yeah, his dorm room is literally like 4 blocks from my job. So
Jesus, that is really, really close.
That's crazy. So yeah, he had picked me up this Ares, and he had rode with us to HasCon, which we'll talk about a little later in the episode. But he had rode with us to HasCon. So shout out to Ed. And so yeah, what else did you get?
I got the Hella from that wave. That Hella is fantastic. I love that figure so much.
She's hella good.
Oh, she's hella good, my friend. The sculpting on the body is great. If I obviously I would want another, but if I never got another Hella, I wouldn't be sad over it.
I feel like I heard somebody mention that she's pretty much looking like that in the comics right now. Is that true?
Yeah, very similar lining in the comics. I think it was Day Johnson that posted up a picture. Like somebody asked, Day's always like super up to date.
Always on top of that shit.
Yeah, he's always on top and on top of the news and stuff like that. And it looks just like it. I love it. I have no use for the second head, so maybe I'll use it for something else. I only want that horned comic-y look. I was able to get the Deadpool and the Captain Rex and the Magic the Gathering set thanks to you.
No doubt.
Fantastic. Big thank you. I pulled out the Deadpool when I was hanging out with my friends, and my friend from afar spots the Deadpool, and he's like, why the fuck does that have a blue gun? And I was like, here, why don't you take a look? And I pass him to it, and then he pulls it out. He's like, oh shit, this is a Nerf gun. And I was like,
yeah, somebody else said that on like a comment, I think on my Instagram, or maybe it was on YouTube. But yeah, I think they said that HasCon, it was a Hasbro event, so they made it where it was like Nerf guns, which makes sense. I don't know how true that is, but that is pretty clever, I guess. Even though I still
definitely feels like that's what they wanted to do. And it's a really nice figure. I honestly kind of like it more than I like the original. I don't know, something about it just feels a little more fun. Yeah, I haven't opened Rex yet, but he's next. I opened Deadpool, and he was awesome. I just can't stop messing with it, even though I've had it before. For some reason, the gear on this figure doesn't feel as clunky as the first one. I guess with the first one, I feel more obligated to put that bazooka on his back. You know, at being the X-Force look, I don't have that urge to make him all, gunned out like that. I'm fine with him just having it.
I didn't really think about that until you said that, but yeah, it is a more like kind of sleeker, like ninja kind of Deadpool with this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want more from it. So it's been great. I really love the figure. And I think besides that, I'm almost done with the Man-Thing wave. Like I said earlier, the Man-Thing bath is fantastic. And I'm still in shock that in that interview you had with Dwight, which I recommend everybody go check out, that he said that none of the pieces from Sasquatch were the same as Man-Thing. That's wild. I was getting ready for it to be a plastic overlay, and the fact that he said that it was just completely new is nuts.
Right. One little tidbit from talking with him that wasn't actually in an interview. I don't know where I said this, but I think I mentioned it to somebody. But we were talking off camera, and I think Danny asked him, I don't know who it was, somebody was standing next to me, and they asked him about the holes and Man-Thing's like traps, or in his back, those holes that are there. And he said originally they intended for there to be an attachment that you could put on there with like some like flies and like different shit buzzing around, and like shrubbery and like flowers and different things that you can just attach to them or whatever the case may be. But they couldn't get it worked out before production time, I guess. So he said maybe it was something that they'd be able to revisit and pack it in with something else that you could attach down the line or whatever. But I asked him that actually. I said, what you think you guys could probably maybe get it worked out for? It's like, what, it's a possibility, but we'll see. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That would have been dope if they would have actually.
Yeah, that would have been incredible. Have flowers or, like you said, flies. That would have been sick.
So yeah, he said when they were designing that, he was really going off of the artwork from the book. How they always had like a lot of shit with him in the most recent adaptations of the character and shit. So that was cool. But yeah, Man-Thing is dope. Like I said in the interview, I think a lot of people slept on that bath. Some people just sold that shit right away, immediately. They didn't even probably put it together, just put it right up on eBay. So
it's one of those baths that you don't know how good it is until you have it in your hand. You see it and you're like, man, I don't need another Swamp Thing. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, dude, I think it was even you that was telling me, like, man, you got to wait until you have it in hand. And I was like, dude, I don't need to see it in hand. I already got a Swamp Thing. I don't want it. And then I got the pieces in my hand, and I was like, damn, this is really nice. And I had to build it. And it's one of those things where I should have just taken the advice and had it in my hand first, because once it's in your hand and you see the detail on it and you can see just how much it moves, it's fantastic. It's one of my favorites that they've done in a while, and it was one that I thought was the weakest when I first saw it. So just goes to show, don't judge a book by its Instagram pictures.
Anything else?
I think that's all the notable stuff I got.
All right. So with me, I don't know. What's some of the I actually did not get any more AI figures when they did the Labor Day sale. Unfortunately, I don't know what I was thinking, but I feel like I had a lot of stuff going on at that time, like things that I needed to pay for at that moment. So I didn't get anything extra there. I obviously I got the Deadpool from HasCon, which is fine. I wanted to say that these Deadpool drops though, and the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave, everybody's gonna want new Deadpools on that particular buck. Like this Bucky Cap mold Deadpool thing is gonna be the pass as soon as we get that, because I was looking at that figure up close at HasCon, and man, that's the Deadpool we deserve right there as far as the articulation goes. But
Had the butterfly shoulders, right?
Yep.
Oh my god!
I want to say that it's on that bullseye mold, so that should be very interesting. I got to mess around with Captain Rex. I didn't keep one of them for myself, but it was actually a very nice figure, one of the better Star Wars Black Series figures.
The paint on that thing is incredible. Yep. It's like the best paint that they've done, I think.
Yep. The paint work was very nice. I got the Luke Landspeeder. I tell a funny story about that on the next main course, so I'll save that for main course. But that was something that I was happy about. I got to mess around with Adrian Beltran's Wolverine head cast that he did, or I think he did like some sculpting, and he did all the paint work, but I think he did a little sculpting on maybe like an older Wolverine head. I forget exactly what it was, but took some pictures of that. I put it on Instagram. It's actually Russell's piece, because sometimes I put stuff together for Russell out in Australia and then just send him everything at once when it gets to a certain amount of items. So I fucked around with his piece post before I sent it out. So that was cool. So Adrian's doing some great work. Adrian and Henry always do really, really good work. What else is notable? Recently, I just got the Phasma and First Order. What do you call that? First Order. I don't know. He's like an officer. That's what it is. The officer trooper. It was a 2-pack that they were selling through all of the Japanese sites. And then if you if you bought the bundle pack, then you got one of the BB units or whatever. So I guess this is like the evil BB-8 or like that unit that basically works with the First Order. I didn't get the other bundle packs. I snoozed and didn't get the Rey or the Kylo bundle pack. So I was told yesterday that BB-8 came in I think in the Kylo bundle pack, if I'm not mistaken. So I missed out on that. I missed out on the Figure Arts BB-8, and there was another like roly-poly droid too. But Phasma is the Phasma that we should have gotten from the beginning, basically. So not much difference, not crazy, but the subtle differences on this one is really what we should have gotten from the very first one. So the armor is a little more shiny. She's got a pistol that can be holstered on her right thigh, and she's got some sort of staff weapon that can be holstered on her belt as well. Yeah, so those were pretty cool. I feel pretty good about that purchase. And that's it, I guess. I guess that's the most notable stuff. I don't know. I don't really know what else I got. I guess I think we already talked about the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave on the last podcast, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. We were still on. Like, I think the last episode we had on was with like the week and a half after it started hitting the stores.
The Asgard box set was good. That was a really good value as far as paying $100 for damn near 2 Build-A-Figures and some regular figures, basically, as far as the scale of the figures in that set. So if you missed out on that, that's too bad. But I guess that's it. I really don't know. I'll probably remember more stuff as the episode goes on. But P, what you get? What's some of the stuff you got? Oh, I'm about to get the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's it. P, what's up with you?
I didn't get much lately. I got back into like really early 2000s anime figures for a while. So I got like Batch Bell figures, and then I got some Metabot Build-A-Figure, some Metabot model kits, because the D-Art figures are like 2 bills by now. And those model kits, like they're the same scale. They're 1/6 scale. They're really great. And then as long as you don't mind that they're model kits, they're just as good as the D-Arts ones that came out like forever ago. I've been meaning to get into like the what's that? There's a line of figures. It starts with a P. Porinian. Is that what it's called? Rick, you know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
It's like they're just like robot girls. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about Armored Girls Project?
Maybe I don't. No, they're just female girls on just like bare bodies, but they're just like stylized anime robot girls. They're called Porinian, I think. But I got into this line. I got one of them. It's like she has like a schoolgirl outfit on, and she kind of looks like a Gundam. She looks pretty cool. Yumi is the one I got. Then I had another one on pre-order, but I haven't gotten that one yet. But that line is really cool. I've been meaning to get into that line for a long time, but the main figure I want is like literally $200 now, and she probably won't get like re-released anytime soon, which really sucks.
Man, that sounds like exactly how terrible the world is. Anytime you get into a line, it's like, of course, the one I like most is the one everyone likes most.
One is too expensive. Can't even be bothered to begin to fuck with it. Jeez.
Too much stuff.
Yeah, it's taking a toll on my mind just thinking about the possibility of buying her. But besides that, that's really it. Like, I just got the Zatch Bell figure. It's pretty great. I got the Lady Deadpool too. The Marvel Select, which is shockingly nice. I remember when I first got back into figure collecting, I used to get Marvel Selects all the time because I didn't know any better. And then like, I just after like I realized like, every while a Marvel Select is really great, but like I just stopped doing Marvel Selects for such a long time, and then I was like so shocked that this Lady Deadpool was like pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I hear it's fantastic, but I also hear that she's been breaking a little bit. I guess you need to boil it before messing around.
Yeah, I threw her in a pot like the moment I took her out of the package. Like, I tried to like mess around to see just how many of my joints were like stuck together or even fused, and like the thigh swivel and like the bicep swivel and everything is just, so I didn't even bother with half of that stuff. But yeah, that's really it. Like, I think the last time we were on the podcast, I had already gotten like the Satoshi and like the Team Rocket stuff. So.
Oh! During that time, you must have gotten the Vegeta and the Nappa.
I didn't get the Nappa. I'm just waiting for the U.S. release on that Nappa.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I wait for U.S. release for like most things at this point.
Yeah, like I'm doing the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Nappa, both U.S. release at this point, just because. I can wait. It's fine. Like back when I was still like crazy heavy into reviewing, like I would do like the fast shipping on Ami or whatever, just so I could get the review out, like, and just so obviously I can have it, and then I wanted to get the review out in like a timely fashion. But like now, like there's so many people like in that market that by the time I like get the review the way I want it to be and like film all this stuff, it's like there's like 10 or 15 reviews out, so why even bother?
Yeah, I waited for the U.S. release for Nappa and for Vegeta too. I'm actually getting it from Big Bad Toy Store, so they haven't even given a notice yet. So I don't know when that's going to be coming, honestly.
Yeah, they said September.
Vegeta, I got mine just shipped yesterday from Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. So Big Bad Toy Store on Vegeta should be very soon. I don't know about Nappa though, because obviously who knows. But it was one of those things like Pancho. I just kind of sat down one day and I thought to myself, like, why the hell am I getting these Dragon Ball figures so early? Number one, I'm never going to be first, so don't even bother with that mindset. And number two, I don't review things. Like, there was just literally no point for me to have them early than just to have them early.
Yeah, unless you don't reviews it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, you know what, dude, this adds up. I'm spending like $30, $40 more to get it a month early, maybe a month and a half early. Like, you know, it was just no point. I'd rather just wait.
Yeah. I didn't even have anything shipping the same month on my Ami order, so I was like, yeah, at this point you're just spending $20 on, you know, EMS shipping for literally nothing.
Yep. You might as well wait to at least have 3 items together.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm excited for that Nappa and Vegeta. I wanna mess around with that Goku too. Unfortunately, I saw Darius's review earlier. I see that they did a whole different neck head peg or whatever. So you're not doing no swaps though with that shit. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess he said that this one is a lot sturdier. I guess because the hair is kind of heavy.
Well, yeah, if you really think about it, that first Super Saiyan 3 Goku they put out is fucking trash, man.
Oh, dude, that's why I sold it. It was going for so much money, and I honestly thought it was terrible.
Yeah, I sold my shit for, I don't know, a lot of money, but yeah, that's why I sold it too.
Yeah, I thought to myself, dude, this thing low key sucks, and it goes for an insane amount of money. Get it out of here.
Pretty much. So yeah, that was that, and I guess that's it. What we want to talk about? I mean, a lot.
Oh wait, we didn't ask Todd.
Oh, Todd, you there? I didn't even know if he was there. I thought this thing was just open. You there, T? Nope. See.
Don't worry, Todd. I'll be thinking of you the entire time that you're not here.
So what's been going on, man? I mean, I guess there's a lot of shit to talk about.
I guess the main thing to talk about since it was so recent is HasCon.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so if you don't know by now, Hasbro had their first event. It was like a Comic-Con style event. It was a convention specifically for Hasbro products. So they had all of their brands there, all of the things under the Hasbro mantle. So Transformers, Marvel Legends, Nerf, freaking My Little Pony. What else does Hasbro have? All of their properties was there. It was one huge floor, so it wasn't like it was several different floors or and it was rather modest. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't the size of New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con.
I heard it was very familial.
Yes, definitely. It was a great family event. Like if you lived in the area and you brought your kids had a great time because they had so many activities for kids. Like it was so much stuff to do. You could throw the football around. You could like mess with the Nerf stuff. You could dress up dolls and like it was something for everybody. It was something for all the kids, for the boys and the girls. And it was a pretty cool family event. I was saying on main course that I would definitely bring my daughter next year. She would enjoy that. But I did bring her something. They had like a My Little Pony exclusive. They had 2 different ones, and she actually just opened it. I guess 2 days ago. It was actually a lot of stuff in there. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was dope, man. It was Friday was pretty laid back. It wasn't really packed like that. But Saturday, it was packed. It was a lot of kids there. It was a lot of kids. So yeah, the whole Hasbro team was there. They basically, what they did was they had all hands on deck. So it was literally Hasbro employees from all over the world. They all converged on this one place to handle the event, basically. So so they weren't really like up your ass like Comic-Con staff would be. It wasn't like real like intense. It was real laid back. Like, it wasn't crazy. Even as it relates to getting the exclusives and stuff like that. Like they wasn't really up your ass. They were on top of marking off your badge though. Like if your badge, once you bought the exclusive, they were on top of marking your badge. So you couldn't do multiple things on your own badge. That wasn't happening. So
yeah, it wasn't going to be no trickery available.
Not like that at least. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool. All the employees were nice. I didn't see any spats or any problems or anything like that. They were a little. You definitely had to go through the proper channels to get an interview. For me to get the interview with Dwight, I had to go through the PR person. Like he couldn't even like officially talk to me on camera without alerting the public relations woman.
Presses.
Right. So and while I was doing the interview off camera, she was standing right there recording it as well and making sure that he didn't say anything that he wasn't supposed to say, basically.
Oh, damn. Well, I mean, I guess she's right next to the headquarters, so it's kind of like, well, we can't have the girl that looks over everything there.
So if you noticed in the I had asked him about he hadn't told me anything beforehand or alluded to anything. I had just asked him about the Invincible Iron Man, and he played coy and shit. He didn't he didn't say anything about it. And little did I know, 3 hours later at the panel, they were, announcing the Invincible Iron Man, basically. So he did what he was supposed to do, because the public relation woman, her name is Alyssa. She was like right there, like a hawk. Like, if you say anything that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, so, I know Dwight usually when he does interviews, especially with you, he kind of gets like a little cheeky. He'll be like, "Well, maybe you'll hear something very soon." But we didn't get none of that this time.
But it was cool, and she was. I've been dealing with her for, I want to say, like 3 or 4 years. Like, she's the person that handles all of their events. So even their like pre-Toy Fair event and anything that's any of those private events through Hasbro, she's the person that has always gotten me or Pancho or anybody into those events. I just had never met her, but she seemed like really genuinely impressed and excited after the interview. Like, oh, you guys know your shit, and like, Dwight is really friendly with you guys, and so that was cool.
I can't believe they only allotted you 12 minutes.
Yeah, she was on that shit though. She was like, well, all right, you got 12 minutes. I'm like, 12? Fuck it. we had stopped recording at 12 minutes, and I had forgot to ask him about Ghost Rider and some other stuff, and then she gave us an additional 3 minutes. So she was real cool about it though. So that was cool.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated. I was like, skip to the new stuff. Quit showing that old shit. But
it'll be a good opportunity to really double back and talk about all of the shit that was missed at New York Comic Con. So we should be, Todd, you and I should be straight for getting into that event, and then we could just kind of go over other stuff that didn't get asked. And since we know more shit that's happening now, then we can really ask some questions. So yeah, if you want to show some screen caps of what you put up in your news interview, your news video the other day, that would be good.
Yeah, definitely.
While he's doing that, it's really it works out very well that this con is right before New York Comic Con and so close, because anything that gets revealed or anything that was forgotten to be asked is like really easy to redo in the near future. Like we're less than a month away, I believe, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's very close. And even now with Todd's latest video, it's a lot more things that they didn't even say there that we know now. So
yeah, I'm hoping, even if I don't get to ask the team a lot of questions on camera, I have a lot of questions about because they said they were able to go back and retool the waist area for Blade. That I can't remember what figure is going to be based on that body. I think it was a Paladin, and they went back and retooled that so that he doesn't have the same sticking his butt in the air posing problem. And I want them to go back and retool all of the molds for the Grim Reaper body mold, because those shoulder joints still scrape.
Yeah, those shoulders have not been fixed.
So they need to fix that shit.
And it's one of those things, Todd, too, that you're gonna realize when you're there. is that these guys, and Boog will tell you the same thing. They'll tell you things that they would just never tell you on camera in person. Like I tell people all the time, but they don't believe it because people, when they get recorded, say something different because they're not allowed to. But last year, when I asked about the Sauron and I asked about the blade, Dwight straight up just told me like, "Oh yeah, those are real protos. These aren't like a sample. These aren't like these aren't like a custom that we had commissioned. Like these are going to release. We're just gauging interest." But when he would be on camera and you'd ask him that question, he'd be like, "Who knows?"
Yeah.
And when you're in his face, he will answer much more truthfully, and especially if you don't have a camera on you, he's really quick to just tell you what is up with the figure. And sure enough, we have Blade now, and I am I'm willing to bet Sauron is not far off.
Yeah, we shall see. So, yeah, previously in the week, somebody on the Foosh had just made like a wish list of figures that they were hoping would be coming down the pipe, and like the stars aligned, and they some of the figures on their wish list are actually coming now in the X-Men wave. So this person on the Foosh had put on their wish list a Wolverine wave, which we don't have any confirmation of coming. There's been rumors for the past couple of years, but now one of the figures in that Wolverine wave that the guy wanted is showing up is Sabretooth, and we already knew we were getting Storm, Psylocke, and that Wolverine. Yeah. So now we're getting Multiple Man and Magneto and Gladiator, in conjunction with Sabretooth. So
honestly, that Gladiator took me by surprise.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, same here. And another thing that's interesting is that they substituted Gladiator for another figure, because if you look at this screenshot that I'm sharing right now, the UPC is out of sequence. So all of them start the second to last digit goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then bam, it jumps. It is completely out of sequence. Instead of going 967, it jumps to 970. So they just pulled that figure out of the thin air and stuck him in this wave. So it makes, and now I'm curious on what they knocked out. They had something in mind to be in that spot, and then it got bumped and Gladiator got pushed in there. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up showing up down the road.
Yeah, what you can assume might have been in that one's place.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a big collector of X-Men figures, but I definitely want Wolverine and Psylocke, and I don't know about the rest. Magneto, everybody's speculating that we're going to get what is it, the Marvel Now costume? It's like
black and silver.
Yeah, black and silver or black and white. So, I don't subscribe to any of the. I don't care about any of the new comics, so I don't need that. If that's end up what we're getting, if they redo the classic Magneto, then I'll pick it up. But yeah, I'm not jonesing. Gladiator, I love cosmic characters. It's kind of weird that he's in this wave. So hopefully they'll give us a different costume. It better not be Kid Gladiator, or I'm going to punch somebody.
Who's that?
It was in a recent one of the recent books. And I wish Day was here so he could pick his brain. But yeah, there was some new character who's like a teenager who was like taking the role that Gladiator has,
Oh no.
in the Shi'ar Royal Guard, and I'm like, no, please don't give us that, because they keep screwing us with there's so many. Like, I was really disappointed when they announced. Well, we already knew that we were getting a Spider-Woman, but we just didn't know which version. And when it ended up being the modern version movie, or Jessica, the modern Jessica, I was really bummed. I really wanted Julia Carpenter. So.
Oh man, I'm just looking at this Kid Gladiator right now, Todd. You weren't kidding. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's trash.
This guy looks like he was beat up at a Juggalo show.
Yeah, he looks like Seth Green.
Yeah, like if somebody was like, I really want to base this hero's model off of Seth Green, somebody would say no more and pulled this guy out.
Yeah, so let me stop sharing so I can bring up something else for a second. Oh, and then they show the new Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, which I don't have an Apocalypse, so I'll probably end up trying to get it, but yeah, I'm just not a huge X-Men collector, so I'm kind of glad I'm not going to try to army build Multiple Man, because that's going to be expensive. He's going to be probably the hardest one to get. Besides that,
hopefully he becomes one of those figures where stores like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth start selling like just a case of him.
Yeah.
Because if not, like you just said, if that does not end up happening, it's going to be a very expensive figure to have to army build.
Yeah, if they're gonna put two figures as 2 per case, which I don't think they will, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So more likely it's just going to be Wolverine that it's going to be 2 per case.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So yeah, unless they offer a full case of 8 of individual figures, then he's going to be a bitch to army build. Sabretooth, I already have the Marvel Select. I know everybody wants a classic Sabretooth. The articulation isn't good on that figure, but I don't know. I might
the size and the sculpt is right, but
yeah.
But the articulation is not all there.
Yeah. Other than that, a lot of people were bummed that we're not getting a Jubilee or a Beast or Gambit. I know a lot of people want Gambit and Nightcrawler, and I'm sure we're going to be getting those. It's just not right now.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you see a character like Multiple Man, and you just think to yourself like, oh well, Gambit is not far off.
Yeah, especially reusing that jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hope if we get Gladiator, he's in the black costume, because I just like a few days before, or a week before, I ended up getting a second SDCC version Gladiator. I got a good deal on somebody on Facebook. So because on the hard to find figures, I always like to have doubles in case something ever happens. And now I'm like, well, I really hope he's in a new costume.
Yeah, because then you're about to have 3, and
exactly.
He's gone the second one. Yeah, he's one of my favorite figures that we got from just Comic-Con in general. Has a really nice paint job, and he's a character we've never had before. So
what I mean?
Yeah.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about the X-Men wave for next year.
Oh yeah, man, I'm excited about that wave. Looks nice. Well, it looks like it'll be nice. We haven't seen anything yet except Wolverine. But...
Yeah, well, Wolverine, Psylocke, and
Apocalypse. I'm sorry.
Apocalypse and Storm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people weren't happy with the Psylocke. I guess the body they weren't happy with, but I have no personal problem with it.
I just wish they would have made her lower body a little A little thicker.
I could see that.
You know.
I mean, she's supposed to be Asian, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They want the Rob Liefeld proportions.
See, that's the thing. Like, I fucking hate Rob Liefeld art, so.
Yeah, if you don't like Rob Liefeld, then you know definitely the thicker is not going to be your snicker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she looks good. That Wolverine's definitely going to be dope. I'm hoping now that if we're getting Gladiator, that we're going to see more Shi'ar, because that's the team that I want the most. Is well, it's going to take for we'll probably never get the Royal Guard unless they do like a crazy box set.
I could see them doing a Walgreens exclusive of Lilandra or something like that too.
Yeah, see, we need.
I would love a Lilandra.
We need Lilandra and Deathbird so bad. You know, especially now that we have a Dark Phoenix. You know, we need to be able to do that.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, so I'm jonesing for that, but the rest of them, besides Wolverine and Psylocke, I'm like, eh.
I don't see them re-releasing that same Gladiator. So yeah, I think I might echo your same sentiments as far as them doing him in the black costume.
No Kid Gladiator, please.
Yeah, no Kid Gladiator.
Fuck that.
That would be stupid. That's fuck. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they might do for Multiple Man too. I would assume that he would be the one that'll be double packed in the case. That would make the most sense, honestly. But
yeah, you know they're not going to do that. We were just talking about how they're probably going to just do Wolverine.
They're lucky that Wolverine's so sick.
Well, let me see what you got. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures. So they normally only double pack one when it's 7 figures, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and they double pack usually the most popular character.
Yeah. So
A-list.
Oh, that's really stupid. Come on, Hasbro. You finally get some Multiple Man.
I was just telling Todd, if they don't do like Hasbro was able to do with the stores like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, like if they don't do like selling people cases of Multiple Man, they really fucked up.
Yeah, that would make sense. I could see them redeeming themselves by doing that. Yeah, full cases of Multiple Man going out would be dope.
That needs to happen. They can't just give us a single wave, just one single pack in a wave. Like that is so balls.
Honestly, what they should have did with Multiple Man was put out a 3-pack. Put out a 3-pack that has this look that Todd has up right here. His what they call that when X Factor was doing the detective things? Was it what was it? Damn it, I forget what they were calling the team during that time. But it's him with the Multiple Man logo on the T-shirt. So that look, this look here in the picture, and what's the other look?
Was the other one where he has kind of like a T on it, or a cross? It almost looks like a cross on his chest. The one that I posted in Plastic and Paint.
Yeah. So yeah, if they did 3 different looks in a 3-pack, they could sell a lot of fucking 3-packs.
Let me.
Because you'd be able to, you know what I'm saying, build up your Multiple Man army from 3 different eras. So
yeah, as long as I don't get the Multiple Man that doesn't have a coat on, I'll be fine. Like,
this one here.
Give me one with a coat.
Actually, that run in the comics was phenomenal. I talked about that not too long ago on the channel. Who was the writer during that time? I think it was Peter David, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody fact check that. But I think it was Peter David. But that entire run when X Factor was doing that detective one too, amazing writing, mad funny, you know, clever. The artwork wasn't insane, but it was good. It was really well written. So yeah, that look for him would be great. I could see them doing that. That's the most modern look, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. This one or that classic look would be what I prefer. Like I was on some group, and some like guy that just likes to see people get pissed off was like, I hope that they give you guys the one without the jacket. It's like, man, you better shut the hell up.
I think
You better go somewhere else.
I think the term for that is troll.
Yeah, like, man, get the hell out of here. No.
I meant to ask about this black boat and ask why they didn't make it where the wings could be removed. That was like really stupid. Unfortunately, you're gonna have this nice kind of bluish gray hue on the costume and the screaming head and the little effect coming off of his black bolt symbol or whatever that is, but the wings don't look like they're gonna be able to come off. So
Yeah, I'm already planning on buying 2 and just ripping the shit out of the wings off.
yeah, you could definitely do that. Get 2 and then rip one off because nobody really wanted to rip them off for the other one because it was part of that SDCC set. So it wasn't guaranteed that you were going to get another one, basically.
Yeah, I was so frustrated with it. I sold it because, like you said, I kept wanting to rip them off, and I was like, dude, I can't rip them off. So I just sold it. And now that we're thankfully getting another one, I don't regret the original decision.
Well, there's no difference between this one and the one from the box set, right? I mean, other than the heads.
Yeah, I just can now buy another one at retail for a reasonable price and just rip off the wings.
Right. That's what he said.
Exactly. Let's see. So, other than them showing the official images, let's see. The Hydra 2-pack is hitting now.
The A-Force. A-Force has been hitting pretty hard.
It's been out. I got my set in the mail like last time you guys recorded, and I still haven't opened it because I already I had reviewed early reviews of the 3 that I really wanted, and the last 2. What the hell's her name? The chick with the shotguns. Alyssa Bloodstone.
Bloodstone. I was about to say blood splatter.
Bloodstone and the God damn it, the ethereal chick.
Yeah.
I cannot think of her name, but those 2 I haven't messed with yet because I still have my case closed. But I'm happy that the paint looks pretty consistent. Among all the sets, I haven't seen too many people.
That figure could make a good custom for that girl from the Vindicators, the lady that's in love with Million Ants. That's a perfect custom for her.
Yeah, I forget her name, but yeah, you're right.
That is the perfect custom, man. Anybody that wants to get their Vindicators going.
I wonder who's going to step out and really give us the Rick and Morty figures we deserve.
I mean, it's definitely not going to be McFarlane's ones coming up, so I hope someone steps in and is just like, move out of the way, bitch.
We need to get McFarlane on here and just troll the shit out of him about articulation the whole entire time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, Boog, that like maybe you and Todd can tag along. Well, I don't know if he'd be into it, but maybe you guys can tag along with Russ. Russ is like incredible good friends with Todd for some reason.
Russ is like his nursing home handler and shit. Like he knows.
Yeah. He is like his nursing home handler. Like he just loves Russ. Like, hey man, I don't know if you remember me. What are you talking about, Russ? Of course I remember you.
The only person he ever remembers. He really likes Artemis. But
he really likes Artemis.
At this point, Todd is Trump. Like he's stuck in his ways. He's X amount of years old. He's not changing, man. Like,
this guy, he's telling everyone alternative facts. Do people really need articulation?
Right. So he's on that shit. He's never coming off of that shit, basically. So we could just forget about that. But if one of these other companies did some decently articulated Rick and Morty figures, that would be really cool, man.
I keep hoping for someone like NECA to do it because I honestly cannot think of another American company besides Mezco that could do them well.
I could see NECA doing it, but I don't know if I would want 7-inch Rick and Morty figures, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I see what you mean.
I don't know.
I could obviously Hasbro's not going to do it, Mattel's not going to do it. So I just started thinking, who else is at retail that can get it done that's not A, Japanese, or B, expensive like Mezco 112.
It's definitely not going to happen to a Japanese company. We could forget about it.
No way. No way. Somebody was mentioning the other day, and I said that it is not, from what I've seen, it is not popular in Japan. If it's not popular in Japan, then just write it off. Because it is very hard for them to do things like that. It's too out of the box. I mean, look at how long it took for them to do something that is as universally popular as Marvel comic characters. So, you know, if it took them that long to do something that everyone loves, everyone's obsessed with, everyone would buy, what are the chances of something like Rick and Morty? As much as I would love it, unless it was really popular over there, I don't think we're gonna see that.
Yeah. But it's a cool show, man. If you haven't watched it, it'll get your wheels turning. If you never watched it, it's very it's not really like in your face humor like a lot of shit you got to kind of think about, and it's a lot of like it's a lot of thinking.
It's a lot of dark. It's a dark comedy.
Yeah, it's dark comedy. Yeah, that's
no question.
That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, it's very clever, probably even genius. So
yeah, I love the show. It's one of the few animated shows or just dark humor shows that my girlfriend will actually watch with me. I don't know. I don't know why she likes it, but I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where you show people, and when they like it, you're like, oh shit, you like this. Because it doesn't happen so often. You know, I show somebody an anime and they're like, oh, that was gay. Or I show them something else and they're just totally not into it. They're looking at their phone. But with something like Rick and Morty, you know, I guess it's just really relatable to think of yourself in the way that you think, in the way that Rick sees himself, and then doubt yourself as much as Morty doubts himself too.
I need to know, put me on with the Guts anime again, because I'm about to get that figure that's coming out through Figma, and I wanna watch the anime.
Yeah, it's called Berserk, and it's incredible to say the least.
You told me where to start last time though, and I forgot.
Yeah. So if you're pressed on time, you can just watch the 3 movies. They're more of a modern animation style. The first movie is on Netflix, so that'll be easy for you to knock out at any moment in time because that's on Netflix. But the other 2 are not. You know, we could obviously just ask John to put those on Plex. But originally in 1997, or was it 1998? Either way, there was an anime done, and the anime is drawn in like a really gritty style, like kind of like the style that Game of Thrones is shot in. Filters that are on Game of Thrones, like that kind of filter to it. Mm-hmm. And it does what those 3 films did in a 26 episode arc. So you get a lot more explanation, you get a lot more like character development in the anime series itself, and it's one of those series where like I've gotten people who I've shown the show tell me that they feel very nostalgic when they watch it, even though they've never seen it before, because of the animation style that it has. It's like very old school animation style, because obviously it was from a time long before the more digitally done animation that they do now in Japan. It was completely hand drawn, hand painted, so it's really, really good. It's I know Internet, who's been missing due to personal reasons around here. It's his favorite manga and anime of all time, and it's quite possibly mine too. What the characters go through, and the way that it's done, visually, it's incredible. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. There's nobody who I've shown it to, David Walton, Matthew, you know, Greg, John, or Which Ones to some people, have all loved it. It's incredible.
What so this figure that's coming out,
main character.
Yeah, I know, but it's what adaptation or what movie or what look is that for him from the anime?
That is from the current anime that's out right now.
Gotcha. That's the one that you're saying that's on Netflix, or no? That's the one that's running.
Netflix. The movies, the 3 movies that are out, are what lead into the currently running anime.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
So it relaunched recently, sort of like Dragon Ball Super or something like that, basically, with new
Yeah,
episodes.
basically those 3 movies came out. They were very popular, and like you just said, like with Dragon Ball Super, they were just kind of like, well, let's just do a show from now on. Screw the movies, and that's where we're at.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out the movies.
Oh yeah, it's dark, it's bloody, it's gritty, it's medieval time.
Hey, did we talk about the freaking Netflix what's that shit? Death Note? Did we talk about that?
Oh, Death Note and how terrible it is? No, I don't think we did.
You know what? You know what's funny? I thought it was good, but then when I heard everybody saying how terrible it was in comparison to the original anime, I went and finally, I had never watched the original anime, so I went and watched some of the episodes from the original, and I could understand why people were saying it's terrible, but I still think as just some standalone shit, it was not that bad. It was okay.
I think the problem that me and Which Wands were talking about it the other day, I think the problem that we had most with it was that it like broke the rules and completely changed like rules of the book itself and of the anime. So it was just very different in the way that it did those things, and it kind of just destroyed what we knew of it before. Like you said, I know a lot of people that enjoyed it, but just for me, knowing the original and what they did with that, I wasn't happy with what we got. I did love Willem Dafoe though as Ryuk. That was fucking great. Movie being bad or not,
part of the movie.
he did fantastic. He did exactly what you'd have hoped for.
Yeah, I never saw the original.
Yes,
I haven't seen the current one either.
Somebody say something?
Yeah, I was just seeing if you guys can hear me. I'm in my car right now.
Yeah, we could hear you.
Cool. Yeah, I actually did just check out that movie a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was like all right. Like, I'm not the biggest anime fan, as some of you guys on this panel might know. I have seen like a couple of things of Death Note. The premise itself is interesting, but I think this movie just kind of took the premise and deviated and kind of did its own thing with it. So obviously, there's a lot of hardcore anime fans that are upset about that. But I agree with Boog from like a standalone, strictly off of premise standpoint. Like, they did a decent job with it. I'm personally not a big fan of like the young adult novel aspects of it. I think that's kind of what they were going for. So I wasn't a fan of that. But I mean, overall, it was all right. I didn't really like the kid that played Light too much.
You know what's funny is that was one of the reasons I was actually looking forward to it, because I like Nat Wolff. I think he's a good actor, and what he's done, I've enjoyed in the past, and what emotions he can bring out of the characters that he's played. And I wasn't happy with what he did in the film. But like I said before, Willem Dafoe though, if you're just a huge Willem Dafoe fan, just watch it just for that. Anyways, he did a great job.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, he's part of the movie for sure.
So it's live action, huh?
Yeah.
It is live action. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for Ryuk, they use mostly practical effects. So that ended up looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Very creepy. Very, very creepy look.
I think he looked better in the movie than he did from what I've seen so far in the anime. Honestly, like a little more, it was more creepy to me. But don't quote me on that because I haven't watched the entire anime yet. But yeah, like I said, I could see why people were a little ticked off, and I felt kind of stupid because I was like, "Yo, this shit is great." Everybody's it's fucking awful.
And I had friends like you, Boog, and then they were like, "Well, let me check out the anime because I love the live action movie." And then they watched the first 2 episodes, and they're like, "Damn, it's very different."
Yeah.
I mean, the relationships are pretty different. One of the things I remember most is that he's like straight up abusive to his girlfriend in the anime, and at this point, it's kind of flipped. Like he's kind of doing everything for her.
Yeah, he was pretty much a pussy in the movie.
I was just about to say he's a total simp in the live action. He is just a simp. He is an herb, like just straight up.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the character's very different.
But I mean,
whipped real quick.
The chick, she was pretty fucking nuts, really. Though at the end of the day, she was a psychopath, and I mean, they both were in their own right. But she was pretty gangster with it, But it was like you said, Willem Dafoe.
But yeah, I did.
You're breaking up, Fabio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
what do you-
breaking up a little bit.
a little bit.
Sorry, I'm driving right now.
Oh, it's just letting you know, just in case like we don't respond to something well or anything. It's the voice.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, what else? What else happened? Any
We
movie?
already talked HasCon and all that stuff.
Yeah, we talked about HasCon. I guess I'm trying to think what else happened at HasCon that I didn't broadcast. Oh, I saw Stan Lee. Stan Lee was at. They had quite a few celebrity guests for HasCon.
Oh yeah, the guest list was pretty packed.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So
For the bird.
he was just like walking the floor, just chilling with like the most minimal security that I've ever seen around Stan Lee. He was like, it was literally like just like one dude, like two dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know,
And-
when I went to San Diego and I was buying that Goku, I was in line at Tamashi, and Stan Lee just walked right by me, exactly how you described. No security, just meandering, takes the side exit, and he's gone.
Usually there's like mad security around this dude though, but he was chilling. People were like obviously flocking to him and trying to take pictures and whatever. He seemed like he was on point. He seemed like he had all his scruples, and he was like, he's still sharp, man, even at his age, man. And there was one guy cosplaying as Thor that he like gravitated to and started chopping it up with him and talking to the dude. I think the dude was employed by Hasbro to be there and cosplay. They had quite a few people. They had a bunch of Star Wars people that they usually bring around with them too, that were doing like lightsaber tutorials for the kids and shit like that. But yeah, but Stan was cool, man. He was chilling.
It's funny that you say that because the media kind of gives this view of him of like, man, he's gonna die any minute. And when I know people like you that have seen him up close recently, they're like, he looks perfectly fine, and it kind of throws me off. Like, man,
the motherfucker's 90-something years old. What do they want him to fucking look like?
Dan not in good health, gonna pass any day. Like, what?
We all dying, man. We all on our way to the fucking grave, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Some of us just
2017.
so.
Yeah, Stan Watts.
But he definitely seemed like he was on point. He was, like I said, he was walking on his own. Nobody was pushing him in no wheelchair, no shit. He was talking to people. He was witty. He was, he seemed like he was in good health to me. So
yeah, he's not just a quiet mute being wheelchaired around because he's so old. From what it looks like.
Yeah, he's not a vegetable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people kind of like. Man, he's getting there. He's getting there. And I see people walking around like being super energetic. Like, well, maybe he's not getting there.
I hate to be all morbid and shit, but can you imagine what type of scalper shit is gonna happen when Stan Lee passes away?
Oh my god! Every single find item ever is hitting eBay.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking retarded, yo.
I think we've had that discussion before. The fact that the dude signs so many autographs that his autograph, I mean, maybe if he dies, it'll be worth more. But at this point, it's like everybody seems like they have a Stan Lee autograph.
You would need to have some really rare shit for it to be,
Right.
worth really anything. But I wonder what his
If you
fucking.
just got the Marvel thing signed by Stan Lee, that's not the same.
How much you think Stan Lee is worth? Can we fact check that? Can somebody Google that?
I'll check that for you right now.
Yeah, what's his net worth?
It's got to be. I mean, people that do these type of autographs, they make a lot of money.
Hell yeah, but the funny thing about somebody like Stan Lee is that wherever he's appearing, more than likely that place is providing his hotel, his airfare, he probably hasn't spent his own fucking money in years. Let
me tell you, Boog, he's got, to quote Chris Tucker, Chelsea Clinton money. He's $50 million net worth.
Jesus.
That's actually pretty modest, though. Really.
Oh yeah, that's
would be more.
For somebody who was running a company on the teeter of bankruptcy and has run companies that haven't been that successful. $50 million is pretty good.
I mean, don't get it fucked up. $50 million is life changing, but in comparison, there's athletes making more money than that in a year, right? Or in a contract,
but Russell Westbrook just made like almost 4 times this with his recent sneaker deal alone.
Wow.
So, pretty lucrative when it comes to stuff like that.
That's one to get.
Yeah, this signature stuff is just is on another level. I don't know if you guys know the well, obviously you don't know him personally. The character of Arrow for CW. That guy
Stephen Amell?
Yeah, Stephen Amell. He created a convention for these actors to just sign up and charge money for their signatures, and it's like
Really?
they're the biggest conventions around. They're called Heroes and Villains Fan Fest.
Wow.
That's Heroes and Villains, right?
Yeah, Heroes and
Heroes-
Villains. He owns a piece of the company and he helped create it. And so all these like little TV stars charge like $200 for their autographs and like
Villains like the
I can't hear you, Fabio. Can anybody else hear him?
You broke up that
Yes.
last one.
Yeah, I drove under a bridge, so I got cut off.
Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, the whole draw of Heroes and Villains is to go see those actors. That's like the whole point. That's the draw.
Yeah, I went to the first ever, literally the first one that they threw, and I signed up for press, obviously, and they were just like super into giving me information. And the last day of the convention, the guy that was running press was like, man, like, this guy, Stephen Amell, hit gold because he just made an insane amount of money. He just made more than he has his entire time of playing the character.
That's
And
funny.
I was like, Jesus Christ. And they were just telling me that these people are making much more money off of these conventions than they do as actors. So, pretty
For
nuts.
sure, dude. Man, that the long-haired blonde guy that died in like one of the seasons of Walking Dead, you know, he got like stabbed in the eye or whatever. That guy makes hella money doing these conventions, and he died after like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, these people, no matter how small the role or how big, they demand a lot of money for their autographs, and people are super into it. You know, that the convention's been coming here for like 3 years now, and I thought to myself, well, after the second year, people aren't going to care, but it gets like more and more popular with every year. These Heroes and Villains Comic-Con, they're super popular.
That's funny, man. They running a straight racket.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what these conventions have all become. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're called Comic-Cons, but how much comic stuff actually really goes on? It's a lot of people just kind of hunting for celebrity autographs.
Yeah, and he was the perfect person to do it. I'm not sure if any of you guys know, but that guy's insanely popular on social media. I don't know why people just really gravitate towards him as a person. You know, like
Well, that's because he did Stardust, remember?
Yeah, he raised like something like over the past few years like $50 million for the F Cancer campaign, and that guy's just super popular. He has like an insane amount of following, and for him to do it, he's just like the guy to all these people that do superhero shows, even for a little bit. Like Fabio just said, there was this character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. called Triplet, Agent Trip, and that guy gets like $100 a signature, and he gets like a few hundred in a weekend, you know. And apparently they don't have to pay the convention that much. They just pay them like a small flat fee when they go. So they make like an insane amount of money. The convention's take is very, very low from what they said.
It was Rick when we were at one of the San Jose toy shows, and they get like these lesser known celebrities, and I was thinking they have to be making money doing this, because otherwise, you know, why come all the way to San Jose to do it? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a toy show. You know, it wasn't like a big convention or anything, but they would have like oh shit, I don't remember. Like
Yeah,
one
Flash.
of the,
They've had Flash Gordon. They've had like a bunch of different Power Rangers. Gilbert Gottfried. They had Lando. Carl Weathers.
yeah, who was the guy?
There's Billy Dee Willis.
No, I'm saying two different people. They've had Carl Weathers. They've had Lando.
Okay.
Yeah, two different people. They've had Lou Ferrigno. They've had a couple of guys a couple different people from the Flash show.
They had the guy, the Black Ghostbuster.
Yeah, he comes all the time. What's his name?
I can't remember the name of that actor.
Can't remember his name either. He wasn't particularly popular after Ghostbusters either. So
What you just reminded me about something. I forgot what the hell I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, these people making money, they do it no problem. I went up to Billy D and I asked him to sign a Colt 45, and he wanted like $150.
Jeez.
$150. Shit.
Yeah, I was like, never mind, man.
Damn.
Maybe I was like, I'll play you a card game for it, and he was like, no, man, I can't do that.
You're gonna banish them to the Shadow Realm for his autograph?
Exactly. he was a nice guy, but I was like, oh shit. Like I didn't have time to think about what I was gonna say in his face. I was just kind of like, oh shit, dude, $150. I don't think so, man. I don't want him to sign this Colt 45 that bad.
How did he look? Did he look real old? Or he still look pretty good?
He looked lively. He was hitting on. You know who else was there at the same time? Elvira. He was hitting on her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He was
Sure,
there
I
the
would.
exact same time that she was, and they were just.
Gotta be like 60 something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Boog, speaking of HasCon, oh shit, not HasCon, but
Comic-Con? New York Comic-Con?
yeah, I'm
PowerCon?
assuming Mezco is going to be at NYCC.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. They have exclusives as well
Yeah,
this year.
they're gonna have
Again.
it,
Yeah, they got that Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yeah, I think they'll have that out.
Do you want to get into that?
Early
Can we
release.
get into
Huh?
that? Can we get in on that?
Say it
Did
again?
anybody score that Wolverine on Wednesday?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it actually.
I completely missed it, so I have to find somebody to get it for me at New York.
Oh shit, Rick.
I
saw-
woke up like an hour late.
We should talk about that a little bit because I saw that I didn't realize that they were on that shit like that, but I saw that right after the pre-order, people were putting up their pre-order for pre-order on eBay for the crazy prices. I didn't even realize people were on that shit like that, but crazy.
Yeah, dude. If those preview images go up, eBay starts soliciting for like $200.
You know what? I heard that they were like the limit was like 6 per person. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
How stupid is that? Why do they do that?
Because that's basically one case for them. So if you order the 6, that's just like them sending you one case. Maybe that's the reasoning. I think it's dumb though, because even fucking NECA only does like 2 per person.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta
and
know
that's
what's
still
happening with people buying 6. Though, like, what are they thinking?
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
one
there's
of
people in the group that definitely are like wholesalers, so those guys, whatever. But then you get those people on eBay. That's just sketchy, man.
from what I was told, it was up for a while that day. I just woke up like an hour and a half late, and everybody was like, "No."
Yeah, it was up for an hour and a half about.
Yeah, I woke up late, and so hopefully it's plentiful at New York Comic Con, and I can ask somebody to get it for me. I don't know how they are at New York, but at SDCC, their booth is always empty as shit. They sell out by the end of the
empty
weekend.
this year too, but they sold out of the 2 exclusives the first day.
Oh, at Comic Con,
Yeah, it's SDCC.
they don't allocate stock.
I guess they did, but maybe it's sold out already. I don't know. But when I got there on Thursday, they were already sold out for the whole show.
Jesus Christ.
But
So I'm about to
your
hit
point, though,
everybody.
the booth was empty.
Yeah, their booth is always empty. Like the first couple of years that they did the exclusives, it was like not a problem whatsoever. I know Darius is really good friends with that guy Pierre, so maybe I could ask him to tell Pierre that a little Mexican boy in California, his wish is to have a
Have a monster.
Has anybody heard anything about the Iron Man?
Yeah, we've not heard anything about it.
I need that.
Well,
shit.
I mean, since we're talking about Mezco, is it an appropriate discussion to have as far as like how would they put the classic Wolverine as the most exclusive version when it's the one that people want the most? Was that a shady business practice?
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I'd say shady, but I'd say it was a stupid business practice.
Right.
I'd say it was a very misguided move. I don't. How? What kind of move is this? The brown suit being exclusive makes more sense than even Old Man Logan.
Right.
Old Man Logan's not even due
because
until February, right?
Yeah, February.
Yeah, February. But Tiger Stripe is due in when, November? They said.
The same week of the convention.
And when's that?
What week is it?
I think it's the 8th.
Starts,
10th?
yeah, it starts on the 5th.
Oh,
Or-
the 5th to
Sixth.
the 8th. It's the 5th to the 8th this year, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because we get into New York that Thursday, which is the 5th. So I don't know if it starts Thursday or Friday.
So yeah, I think it's the 5th through the 8th. I think you're right. So but yeah, I wonder. I'm already thinking ahead. I'm thinking if the unmasked Tiger Stripe Wolverine head will work on the other one. On the I'm sorry, excuse me. On the
Old Man Logan.
yeah, so you could have sort of like a street clothes look.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too, and I hope it does work. I mean, the skin tones look, about the same. Be kind of dumb for them to fuck up the peg like that, though.
Right, it wouldn't make no sense. I'm wondering too if that Wolverine buck is going to be shorter.
Did look a little shorter in person. I mean, at least the brown one.
We haven't had a Wolverine figure hit yet, right?
No.
From Esco, I mean.
No, we haven't.
So wait, when's that one with the shorts and the boots supposed to be coming out?
The brown one? I don't know. Isn't it? Wasn't it the end of the year, like December?
I'm confused. Wasn't that slated to come out first? Did they like say fuck it? It looks like people don't care about this, and they jumped the Tiger Stripe one up in the line, or what?
Probably.
To be honest, that's what it sounds like.
Like everybody's goofing on it.
The brown one. They been showed that one. See, a lot of people was when I was talking about this shit when I spoke to Pierre at Toy Fair and the interview and shit. I had people in the comment section getting mad that I was saying these things and kind of pressing them on this shit. And now it looks like everything that I asked them or everything that I questioned, they went and they fixed or they're doing it. We asked about the Tiger Stripe, so I said people weren't really happy about the shorts and that it looked funny. So now they stopped that, and now they're putting out the Tiger Stripe one first. People really, really want the Old Man Logan. Iron Man
yeah.
Really dope. But I don't know. I don't know how long they're gonna be able to sustain this without changing up things a little bit. I don't know.
Well, did anybody get that Deadpool?
I passed on the red and black one. I pre-ordered the X-Force one, but now I'm thinking that I want to get the red and black one because I do have the Deluxe Punisher with the red body armor. So I'm just kind of thinking Thunderbolts and shit.
It looked too much like an Action Man 12-inch figure to me to pre-order.
Mezco always fools me. When I look at the shit, when I look at pictures of it, I always think that they're much larger than they really are. Then when you get it in hand, you're like, damn, it really is a 6-inch figure with clothes. That's really all it is. It is, it always so much larger in pictures, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things where just I've noticed it just me personally, like the more classic look of a character, the less I want to buy it from Mezco. The more detailed, the more modern it looks, the more I want it. Like the Deathstroke, this Arrow and the Arsenal that I have, the Captain Rogers, Commander Rogers, the Old Man Logan, the Punisher. Those are like the most impressive ones for me, at least. Like the more they're wearing a unitard and it's just all that fabric, the less I like it.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that Deadpool, I was like, damn, like I just can't rock with this, man. It looks like pajama pool.
Yeah, it looks like Amigo.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not into that. Like I wanted it to look more modern.
I mean, I think at this point, it's cliche to say at this point, but it's a lot different once you have it in hand. Like I was kind of feeling the same thing too. The collar looked a little puffy, and the clothing looked a little like sweatery. Yeah, like a flannel pajama. But man, once you have it in person, that suit is on there. Like it's pretty tight. Like you can actually see a good amount of his musculature through the suit.
Yeah, it's not that for me though, because I have the Flash, even though I'm not happy with it. I have the Flash, and I'm gonna cut the suit from out of him like Dallas James did. It's just I don't like when they're just a straight fabric suit like that, when there's not something else to the figure, when there's not a layer to it, because I just think it looks so pajama-y to me. I mean, I think the biggest problem that I have with Mezco more so is that I wish that they would stick to one thing or the other. Like I cannot put the Superman or the Shazam with the Green Arrow and the Arsenal because they look like completely different eras. And that's the thing that I don't like. I'd wish that they would stick more to eras. Like, okay, if they're all gonna have a classic spandex look, cool. Have them all start to be like that. Or if they're all gonna be modern, sick. Have them all be more modern range. It just kind of sucks that, like, I literally cannot put any other Mezco figure with that arrow and that arsenal.
It almost sounds
And
like
the other thing that sucks is how incorrect they are with what they do. Like the Flash, I'm sorry, but anyone who has the Flash and puts the head that has the pupils on it is an idiot. You don't like the Flash because that costume that he's wearing is Barry Allen's costume.
Mm.
I mean, not Barry Allen's costume. It's Wally West. So
Wally West.
yeah, it's like you're putting Dakin's head on Wolverine's body. It looks weird. It doesn't make any sense. He's never supposed to have the thunderbolts like that. That smirky face with the whited out eyes, that head should be the only head ever on that body. Like to have that other head included just makes no sense. It's weird. It's like they didn't think about what they were doing. They just kind of picked a design and they were like, that's the Flash we're doing with the angular bolts. And they didn't think about the fact that, like, Barry and Wally wear completely different suits. At least Thunderbolt wise, and it's noticeable. But like I said, it's like you gave me a Peter Parker but gave me a Miles head with it. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, man. I want them to really start thinking about team building or world building or universe building as far as the looks go. I'm with you there 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think because when they started, we had that Batman and we had that Dread, and it wasn't really about, like you just said, building the worlds and building the teams and building these characters interacting together. But now that we have more, that's what you want to do, and you can't do it. You put that Wally West with this Oliver Queen and the Arsenal, and it doesn't work. It just looks like Wally West traveled from the past and was like, Marty, it's your kids. Because it's not the same era. Same with Shazam. Shazam doesn't look right. He looks like somebody took Elvis's head and put it on a Shazam body. It was
that's my same complaint with Marvel Legends. Like it takes forever to build a team.
Yeah, and with the price point that we're paying, it's just kind of tough. I mean, I have figures from Mezco 112, so I'm happy with some of the stuff that they do. But there's definitely some things that I would love for them to fix and something for them to address. Like, can you try to start sticking to an era because you guys don't know what you're doing?
It feels like that. I think more than anything with Mezco, it's more about not building like the overall world, but it's more like building their world based on like their designs. So to me, like, I get the mental block that you have putting these characters together, but to me, like, they do go together and their looks do go together because in my head they were all designed by the same team and to go together. And there's exceptions, like obviously I wouldn't put the movie figures with what's meant to be like their comic figures. Like Batman and Superman from BVS aren't leading my Mezco Justice League, but the consistency of like how they deviate from the classic designs or sometimes adapt the classic designs, it all works together for me, even if one looks more modern than the other, because I know that they're from technically the same universe by the same designers. So to me, like, that's not a real like mental problem, but I do understand why you might have that hang up.
What happened with
I see what you mean. It's just I just can't. I try to. Like I said, I bought that Wally West because I'm a huge Flash fan, and I put him next to my Green Arrow, and I felt like an idiot.
What happened with
I was like, you put the Wonder Woman together. What happened
with the Wonder Woman figure that had the C-section scar?
Which one?
The Mezco Wonder Woman figure that they were supposed to put out. Did that one come out?
No, it's not out yet.
Yeah, no. It didn't end up coming out yet.
That's going to be the Wonder Woman movie, Wonder Woman, though.
You think so?
Yeah, it is. I talked to Pierre at SDCC, and like that's the Wonder Woman from that movie, and then Aquaman's gonna be from that movie.
I see.
They might be redoing Batman in the new suit or whatever, or maybe to like modify, kind of make the old one look like how the suit looks now. It's like slightly different. But I even told Pierre like you really don't have to do that with Batman because the suit honestly looks similar enough. If you just want to fucking make new characters from here on out and use the same Superman because the suit he elaborated is slightly different. So I don't want them to waste the character slot giving us another Batman or Superman from Justice League when the ones we have from BVS I think will work just fine.
But then you start to run into the problem where those figures are not in production, and you get like price hikes, and you get people wanting to complete a team, and if they weren't collecting when BVS was out, then they don't have those figures. And I think that's what
the new suit, not the one that looks like the BVS suit, but slightly more armored, but like the straight up new tactical suit with the goggles and shit.
Mm-hmm. I hope you get an interview with them at New York, Kendall, because some questions need to be answered.
I saw somebody in the Mezco group. They put up a poll for the most wanted characters, and this kind of thing. But pretty much every time, Doctor Doom is in like the top 5 of the poll. And Pierre told me at San Diego that they actually don't have the license for Doctor Doom or any Fantastic Four characters, so you won't be getting a Mezco Doom, I'm afraid.
That's a damn shame because he's like the perfect character for them to do.
Yeah,
he really is.
Fuck you, Fox.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Fox. Happy now, Fox.
Although from what I've heard through the grapevine, Stan Lee kind of made some references basically saying that Marvel's working on getting Fantastic Four and back from Fox.
Yeah, that's what he said at HasCon, right?
Oh, was it at HasCon?
Yeah, I believe so. Where they interviewed him, and he was like, "Yeah, they're trying to fix it, and I'm there." And I mean, I hope so. The only thing that's making me hopeful is that we have absolutely no sign of any movement with Fantastic Four within the past few years. So
yeah, it was, I think it's been 3 years since the last movie.
Yeah, that they're just like, fuck this.
Fox hates money. Just look at the fucking deal that Sony got with Marvel.
Yeah, it's working out perfectly fine. I mean, I know that lady that speaks for Sony kind of says some strange things in interviews about where Spider-Man is headed and stuff like that, but
Amy Pascal, she's the fucking president. She's the
all I heard was Amy Pascal, some of the things she said, even Marvel executives, like when she's talking, they kind of look at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's kind of out there, but as long as it doesn't affect the movie, Tom Holland is still our Spider-Man. I don't personally give a damn.
Well, it took that email leak to actually get Sony to bend, because once shareholders saw that they were throwing away money, because Disney was like, we will give you a shit ton of money just to let us use Spider-Man, and they didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to lift a finger. And once shareholders saw, like, you are throwing away money, and we're barely making any profit as it is, then they had to fucking bend. So, Fox needs to
backtrack. If we backtrack a little bit, there's no one we have to thank more for having Spider-Man in the MCU than North Korea. Am I right? That's why those emails got leaked in the first place, because Sony's the one that put out James Franco movie where they killed Kim Jong-un. And because North Korea had heard about that, they had basically, or someone had hacked Sony and leaked all those emails regarding, and it also happened to be with the Marvel and Spider-Man stuff. So really, we can just thank them for putting a bitch fit.
That is very strangely true.
Yes.
That is very strangely true. It is absolutely true. I don't know. This Amy Pascal lady's crazy. She still hasn't given up on Fox doing things, but like, I don't know. They keep saying they're gonna do Fox films, but like, You know, we've not seen any traction other than them claiming that they casted someone, but there's no like production dates being started on anything. So I don't know. Seems like she's like, you know, treading water at this point with her image, so she doesn't know what to do or say sometimes. I said she's there with like Jesse Falcon or like other people from Marvel, and they're kind of just looking at her when she's talking, like, "What the fuck are you saying? Like, what are you talking about?"
As far as the Fox stuff, I mean, Fantastic Four, it's likely that it's going to make its way to Marvel, but Fox is still making pretty good money off of X-Men, and especially now with Deadpool sort of revitalizing the whole franchise, they're probably going to hold on to that for a while.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get X-Men, but which I don't mind, honestly. I as much as I didn't like Age of Apocalypse, they don't do like a Fantastic Four job of being bad or anything, so I don't mind. Deadpool was great. So obviously there's some people there that know what they're doing, so I don't mind. But Fantastic Four, give it up.
Yeah,
give it back. Give us all the great villains. You know, give us all the great heroes. You know, we'll take it. The only thing that sucks though is that we still don't have Namor.
I mean, we've gotten hints of Namor in the MCU, but
yeah, they just don't own the rights to him. So.
Yeah, they can only like reference him, but not by name.
Yeah, exactly. Just like how when Tony had that map of people to worry about, it showed the X-Men mansion, but you know we don't get the X-Men or anything
right.
like that.
And Namor's was just like, you know, a dot in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm cool with X-Men being on Fox as well because I mean, like you said, they're not that terrible, and I think Deadpool has opened up a shit ton of new doors for them because now they can do, you know, Deadpool 2, and put Deadpool in a team movie, and you've got a whole brand new fucking ensemble universe.
Yeah, exactly. With X-Forces being planned to come out right after Deadpool 2, so you know, I like that Deadpool basically set up for them to have a very adult-themed universe. Which is like, I mean, I know we have the Netflix shows, but like honestly, you know, they kind of feel like even though Punisher is gritty and dirty and he kills like a maniac, like they don't feel as R-rated as like when I watch Deadpool.
Yeah,
so I like the idea of that tone shift of this new tone that's being set right now.
It's almost as if the X-Men movies are reaching like the Jim Lee era level in the comics. Like we're approaching the early '90s era of X-Men comics, but in movies. Like it's just now about to fucking really take off.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. I'd say so. Everything else was fairly safe. Age of Apocalypse was like they had like just no balls to take any sort of like worthwhile risk. I mean, the fact that they cast Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse was horrific. He's a great actor, but come on, man, the guy's as tall as I am. You know,
Well, here's another thing too. Another thing about Fox, when you really think about it, they're the ones who really ushered in the era of the comic book movie. You know, with the original X-Men movie, I believe they did Blade too. So I think what's smart about them is that it seems like they've sort of grown up with their audience. Like that very essential 18 to 35 demographic, all fucking remember that first X-Men movie. We all fucking grew up with it, and now we're all adults. You know, we have disposable income, and now it seems like they're making those movies for the audience that grew up with those movies. So now they're making them more adult to kind of continue to keep that audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the necessary shift, and I hope it continues. I don't mind them keeping X-Men. Just give me back Fantastic Four. Give me back the great characters associated with it, and you can keep
Galactus, Berserker, all that.
Yeah, give us Galactus, give us Doom. You know, give us
the Zone. Fuck.
Yeah, give us a lot from that, please. You know, give us a Nihilist. You know, I think that's one of the biggest reasons that Nova was held back from coming. I mean, he was a main character of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think if you don't have a Nihilist, it's just
I was shocked when they talked about Skrulls being in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck it.
Yeah, totally. I don't think we've ever really talked about Captain Marvel. You guys know it's supposed to be set in the 90s, right?
Yeah. You know what? I forgot to mention that that I saw an article, or it was like an interview with Samuel Jackson saying how he's not in Avengers Infinity War. The next couple of Avengers, he hasn't been in any of these movies. I'm wondering why they've been keeping him out or cutting him out. You would think that it would be essential to like some of the like subplots to these events.
Yeah, he's also he's not in Black Panther as well.
Right. And that was one of the
Probably.
main things that he said in the interview. Like, yo, how you not gonna have me in the blackest movie of all time?
He's probably demanding too much salary.
Well, no, that's not Todd. Back when they were doing the first Iron Man movie, there was a big news story that went around on this quote-unquote unprecedented 9-picture deal with Marvel Studios. That doesn't mean he has to do 9 movies, but he's already pretty much been paid for the 9 movies or contracted for them, but they've already paid him for it technically. So even if he does the movie, it's not like it's a new contract. You know what I mean? Like, Samuel L. Jackson's done 9 movies, but it's like they have him there just in case they need to put him in.
I don't know why they wouldn't. I would like to see some like crazy subplots with Nick Fury. It just seems like it makes sense. I don't know. I don't know how.
I want to see the Avengers doing the big Avenger shit, and I want to see Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Nick Fury do some sweet super spy shit in the background.
Right. You know, because they're not going to be able to obviously stand toe to toe with Thanos, but they could definitely be, you know, figuring out some type of crazy plan to help take down some of his children or whatever they're labeling his group as. So
right.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know. And you would think that in the Avengers movie where they're boasting how there's going to be so many heroes in that one movie, or you know what I'm saying, like how could they leave out Nick Fury though?
It's not boasting so many. It's boasting all of them.
Right. So how could they leave out Nick Fury?
You guys couldn't use somebody that's at Earth, like letting y'all know what's going on, like, you know, directing you guys. You know, his job to direct you.
Right.
A director, yes.
A director, even, you know.
Well, it sounds like they're setting
he is
things
in
up
Captain Marvel.
You said what?
He is going to be in Captain Marvel, though. It's supposed to be. I mean, it takes place in the 90s, so we're supposed to find out how he, you know, got his eye patch and shit.
I wonder if they're gonna give him a hairpiece or some shit.
Man, hell yeah, give him a hairpiece.
Oh my god, this would be such a good opportunity to give him like, you know, like a nice short haircut, but give him some nice salt and pepper on the temples, kind of like classic white Nick Fury.
That would actually be really cool. That would be dope, actually. That would be
right?
Really
a little tiny nod.
You know what they could do? It's the 90s. They could give him a flat top and give him the salt and pepper on the side, like you said. That would be.
Give him a fucking Jerry curl. Hell yeah.
I don't know about a Jerry curl, but.
It sounds like they're setting things up for Secret Avengers, because I heard Jeremy Renner saying that he's after Infinity War, he's going to be Ronin.
Oh shit!
He said this in an interview?
Apparently, yeah.
Wow.
And he's alive? Like Marvel didn't murder him for saying that?
Yeah, I mean or at least he was hinting at it.
And actually saying, "I'm going to be Ronin."
Yeah, I didn't read the article, but it was you know, the words Ronin.
I think it's a good direction for them to go. If they're introducing the Skrulls as, you know, the next phase of villains, I mean, the whole point of the Skrulls is that, you know, their invasion is secret.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. That would actually be pretty cool. And only thing is, though, I don't know how like crazy he is about his face being on screen and stuff like that, because there's no way he's about to learn some crazy karate and shit. So there's obviously going to be somebody else under the mask doing the stunts and all of that good shit. So I don't know.
Ray Park.
As long as he's getting paid, I don't think he cares.
Right.
You know, it's funny that you guys mentioned Captain Marvel. I have the most random quick story from Comic-Con. It was like the year that it was announced, I was super tired. Me and Emiya were standing in like every single figure line you can imagine, from Funko to Hasbro. I just wanted to sleep, and I go to Emiya and I'm like, "Hey man, what time is the Hasbro panel? I don't want to miss it." And he's like, "It's going to be at 3 p.m. or like 4 p.m." And I was like, "Cool. Well, I'm just gonna sit in that panel room because as anybody knows that went to San Diego Comic Con, they don't kick you out of panel rooms. You could keep staying if you want to." So I was like, "Shit. Well, it's 11 a.m. I'm just literally gonna stay there the entire time. I have nothing else to do. I want to sleep. I don't need to get no more figures. I'm just sitting in that room." And so I'm sleeping through like 3 panels, and finally the panel before Marvel Legends comes on. It's the women empowerment panel in comic book industry. And
Oh boy.
the lady at random just goes, "We have a special guest. She was just announced 10 minutes ago as the director for Captain Marvel, blank blank." And then they announced the lady, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you think that I'm special? I'm just a director. How about I introduce you to Brie Larson? We just cast her as Captain Marvel." And everybody started cheering all crazy. They wake my ass up, and I just half asleep. I start clapping, and I look up, and they pull down a big banner that says, "This is Captain Marvel." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I start clapping. I'm like, "Yeah, oh shit!" And then Emmy and Brian come in, waiting for the panel to end. And I was like, "Dude, they just had Brie Larson here, and they just announced her as Captain Marvel in front of all of us." And I was like half asleep. I woke up to like an insane amount of clapping, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And it's just everybody around me clapping like maniacs, and it was just like a room full of women, and like the women bringing their daughters. It was pretty strange moment, waiting for the Marvel Legends panel.
Rick, 40 years from now, your grandkids are going to ask you, Grandpa, where were you when they announced the Captain Marvel casting announcement?
I was in the Woman Empowerment comic book panel, son. I saw Brie Larson right in front of me.
Man, it just struck me. She's not even. I thought she was like really young for some reason, because I remember seeing her in 21 Jump Street, and she plays like a high school girl, but she's like in her 30s.
Yeah, she's almost 40 years old. She was in Scott Pilgrim. She was Amy Poehler's sister in Trainwreck, with John Cena and his terrible but funny jokes.
Oh my God, I love John Cena in that movie.
I guess that they're going to be shooting. I guess they're about done shooting Captain Marvel already, right? Or maybe it's done. I don't know. But I guess they'll be shooting that. And at the same time, she's probably shooting scenes for Avengers, the Infinity War shit. And, like, she'll probably be done after that. So I guess her age don't really matter. Like, I don't see them, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends what kind of role they're looking for her in. I mean, Captain Marvel, I feel, is the kind of character that could be that next, like, team leader Captain America sort of character. But if they're planning on fucking making Bucky Captain America, then yeah, who knows?
Yeah, like if anybody in here keeps up with modern comic books, she is like heavily pushed as like the female character for Marvel Comics. And you can give me any name you want right now, and she belittles them. Like she is their girl. So for them to have said it in the 90s honestly shocked me just for that, because you think Marvel Comics, you think the girls that are on screen right now, you think Black Widow, you think Scarlet Witch, but like she trumps them as far as how much Marvel loves her and how much Marvel wants her to be like their Wonder Woman. So when you said it in the 90s, I was kind of just like, what the fuck? Like, you said it in the 90s. Like, this is like your most popular female character. I was personally surprised.
Well, I really hope
Maybe
that I hope they start her off as Miss Marvel first, and then you get to see her transition. Because I was disappointed that they didn't. You didn't really get to see that. You didn't get to see that with Ant-Man. You didn't get to see his classic costume.
No, I completely agree. I hope that we see the original Captain Marvel, and that we see her go into the role, and her as Miss Marvel first. That would be great. That would be ideal.
Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but I don't think they're going to be going with that origin story.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's something I read. They're saying that they don't really want to do the whole like passing of the torch sort of origin story for her because they feel it's too close to Green Lantern.
Oh, and nobody wants to go anywhere near that mess.
No,
Basically.
no.
Oh well. Oh yeah, because then they don't. Yeah, because then they have to talk about Marvel. So.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they go. When's Captain Marvel due?
Next year, right?
I think it's between Infinity War 1 and 2.
Let's see.
If I'm not, I know there's a movie. It might be Spider-Man 2, actually. I'm not sure. But I know there's a movie in between the first two Avengers, the last two Avengers movies.
It says 2019 on IMDb.
I guess.
Okay.
And so if Infinity War is 2018, then that part 2 is probably 2020. So that would make sense.
Yeah, they're slated. It's slated for 8th of March, 2019.
Hey, that's like my birthday almost, or Boog, our birthdays.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boom, we'll all go to the movie together.
Fuck yeah, dude! Let's go hit up Universal Studios City Walk, get you that discount, y'all.
Yeah, man, we're all gonna go to the Harry Potter Wizarding World.
Hey,
you know,
it's actually dope.
I
love Harry Potter. You ain't gotta tell me twice.
I just
Dude,
saw that movie that was like the prequel to Harry Potter. It just came on HBO a couple of weeks ago.
Fantastic. Where to find them?
Yeah, I didn't even. I knew that it was supposed to be, and then I forgot. And then when I saw the movie, then I remembered again. Obviously,
That movie is so popular. It was surprisingly so popular that it's the sequel comes out next year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, with Johnny Depp finally being the main villain. So
yeah, I was gonna say there was a surprise Johnny Depp in that movie, wasn't there?
yeah, he was. Everybody thought he was Colin Farrell, but haha.
Honestly, Johnny Depp's a good actor. I think in recent years he's gone a little weird, but the best Johnny Depp is the surprise Johnny Depp. Again, going back to 21 Jump Street, best Johnny Depp.
Boom, surprise Johnny Depp.
he's a little nutty though, huh? In real life.
Oh, he's fucking
He's crazy.
bracelets that guy's wears. Come on,
He doesn't go to
any grown ass man wearing bracelets.
He doesn't go to raves, and he wears a minimum of like 10 bracelets a day.
He's doing horrible cologne commercials now.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my god! I just saw one of those. It's so funny. It's terrible.
Why don't you buy the cologne?
Wait a minute. So the guy who goes out of his way to look homeless is doing cologne commercials?
Yeah.
And it's called, and this cologne is called Sauvage.
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 Like straight Sauvage.
Wow.
When I saw the commercial, I thought it was like another Buick commercial. I thought, hey, if Shaq can get one, why not Johnny Depp? And he got out of the car and he was like, Sauvage. And I was like, oh shit.
Did he get into some money problems a couple years back?
He had a divorce to his wife that's Mara, Amber Heard. And I'm actually surprised he's getting hired for anything. There is videos of him like verbally abusing her.
Yeah, I heard he would. Wait. Wasn't he like physically abusing her too? He was slapping her or some shit crazy.
We never saw the physical abuse, but she claims it. But we've seen the verbal, and like he tries to taunt her. You know, he's breaking glasses in the house. He's cursing at her all crazy. Like I was honestly shocked that anyone wanted to associate themselves with him. But I guess his star power is so great that everybody's just like, well, domestic violence. Who cares?
I mean, you got enough fucking football players out there playing after such charges that it doesn't really matter. So, you know.
These football players, you know, they get like 2-game suspensions for beating their wives senselessly in an elevator where it's all being captured on camera.
Yep.
So, he was like, I mean, if you like Johnny Depp at all, you shouldn't watch this.
You know what's funny? I saw one of those what's one of those shows that comes on like primetime TV and it's got like 100 different ones like SVU. What do you call those shits?
CSI.
I saw one of those style shows, and you know that those shows they often mimic shit that has happened and in real life. So they had one episode where it was a guy who was like a football player and he like beat up his wife and dragged in the elevator and all that crazy shit. Similar to, you know, what happened with Homeboy for real.
OJ.
Not OJ. No. It did happen with OJ. But what's homeboy's name that you were just talking about, right? That did that.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
No, not Johnny Depp. The actual football player that fucking dragged his
Ray Rice.
knocked his wife
Ray
out.
Rice. Yeah, Ray Rice. He plays for the Falcons.
Was it Ray Rice? And he knocked her out the elevator and like dragged out the elevator and shit.
Oh yeah, dude, he worked her over.
Crazy, man. Nuts. She stayed with him too.
and yet one dude doesn't get drafted because he chose to protest the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right. Nuts.
It's like, hey, Rick, like they say on Monday Night Raw, we must be in Bizarro World tonight.
We must be in Bizarro World tonight, King.
And Michael Vick's playing football again too.
Yeah,
they gave Michael Vick the shot, and they just are not fucking with Colin Kaepernick now.
Yep.
And that's surprising because white people they love dogs, man.
Oh man, they love dogs like it's nobody's business. They look at you crazy when you look at them crazy for bringing one into Target.
Right.
They're just like, why the fuck are you looking at me and my dog like that, friend?
Don't talk to me or my dog ever again.
I'm here buying as much of vino as I can, and you're looking at me and my dog crazy.
Yo, let's start taking some questions, man. When we
We're asking questions. We're getting crazy off topic. Ask us questions and we'll answer them.
Yeah, I got to bail for dinner soon, so.
Any love advice that you want, ask it now. Todd will give you a response.
Yep.
Shit.
We're turning into love line.
I'm a divorcee. You don't ask me anything.
Damn, that was like a throwback right there. You said love line.
Love line.
Yeah, Drew, that shit's still on here, man.
Is it still on?
100%. I love that shit.
Hey, Rock.
Wait, time out. They have I thought they had like a radio show or some shit at some point.
Yeah. It's still on radio.
It's still there.
Remember when it
used
to come on MTV though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a short time it was appearing on MTV as well.
That was with Psycho Mike, right?
Yeah, with Psycho Mike. Yep, exactly.
The good old days.
Man. Yeah, dude.
Man, the questions that people ask him. So I had sex with my cousin the other day and my balls were red.
Dude, there's a pretty similar show. It's on Sirius called Weird Medicine, and it's one of the longest running shows on Sirius, but it's largely the same thing, except like I went into my cousin's hot tub the other day and my dick's been red for like 4 days. What do I do?
Jesus Christ. Oh, and man, Todd, there actually is a question for you before you leave. Boom. Yeah. From Rob Pollock. I mean, it's not a figure question, but he says, Todd, what's for dinner before you leave?
And I just answered a barbecue pork chops from the crock pot.
Oh, shit.
Boom.
From the crock pot, huh? You've been waiting for that dinner for a while.
Come on, you did this or your girlfriend made this?
Oh, my girl keeps me fat.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
I can't picture you cooking any fucking thing, Todd, honestly.
Damn, someone in the comments is telling us that we should just all be turning to Pancho for the love advice. I don't know. This man's getting married. They're probably right.
True.
We should be listening to Pancho for the love advice.
He's getting married.
Boom.
The man's going to have a chicken McNugget bar at his wedding. He knows a thing or two.
Yeah, I'm down with the chicken McNugget bar.
He's got that.
It has to be McNuggets, though. Are we clear on this?
It is 100% chicken McNuggets. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the dinosaurs. It's not going to be weird. It is straight up chicken McNuggets.
Chicken McNuggets, baby.
Your ass.
So what? I'll ask a question.
Dude, if they bring back that Szechuan sauce before your wedding. Oh Christ.
You binging with Babish. He got a sample of Szechuan sauce and he recreated.
Oh, I saw that.
One. So that's.
When we were driving back from HasCon, we stopped at McDonald's. I very rarely eat McDonald's, but I got I was trying to get a Subway sandwich at first. I was going to get some tuna, and there was like a group of I guess they were high schoolers coming back from a soccer game, and one of the kids fucking fainted and passed out.
Whoa.
And, that was random as fuck. That's not why I was telling the story, but I just remember that. But I got 2 fish fillet sandwiches, and that shit was like $13 for 2 fish fillets.
Where the hell were you buying it in Dubai?
Huh?
Where were you buying this McDonald's in Dubai, and was it diamond
It was
encrusted?
at a rest stop. I don't know. You know, it was rest stop
Jesus.
prices. I guess.
Oh man, it was-
$12 and some change. I'm like, geez, for just a fucking sandwich?
Yeah, well, you live in New York.
Well,
Oh yeah, Todd. Before you go, you said you were going to give us a question.
Yeah, what figures that have been announced or that are coming out soon that you guys are most excited about?
Oh, that's a great question.
I definitely, I'm really hyped up the vintage line for sure.
You said which what?
The vintage line
Vintage line for what?
Marvel
for
Legends.
Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a few I have to pick up doubles because I'm definitely going to want to keep a set in card. But some of how they've gone back and fixed some of the characters, I think actually look a lot better than the first releases. Punisher, for example. I even like the fucking scales on that cap. I think they look good.
Yep.
If it had to be for me, I'd have to say it's probably the Sasquatch wave and that Ghost Rider.
Oh, that Ghost Rider for sure, and that Black Widow on the motorcycle too.
Oh yeah, I thought that Riders line is great.
Mm-hmm.
And Boog told him we want a van. Thank you, Boog, because we do want a fucking van.
Yeah, and he looked real sincere when you said that to him, dude. He actually looked real like, oh wow, all right, well maybe we will have to do this.
And one incredible thing to note from that interview is obviously nothing against those guys, but they do not fuck with Star Wars, and Star Wars does not fuck with them.
Pretty much.
Don't ever forget it. Don't ever get it twisted. They don't like each other, so don't compare them to each other. They'll get really mad. Man, Boog just mentioned that Star Wars did it first, and he genuinely was like, "What did you just say?"
Right. Fucking this review right now, motherfucker.
Turn off the camera. What the fuck did you say, man? Star Wars didn't do this first. Get this man out of here.
Boog, did you get a chance to talk to Jesse at HasCon?
No, I didn't chop it up with him. I saw him, we spoke, we said hi or whatever, but he was not really getting interviewed and shit. He seemed like he was on his bullshit and he had shit to do. So
yeah, he was in charge of all of the panels with all the guests. So he was interviewing Stan. He was interviewing Peter Cullen and Frank West and all those people that were guests. Frank Welker. Yeah, I don't know why I said West.
I chopped it up with Tony for quite a while. The guy was the painter,
right?
Huh?
The painter. He's the paint guy.
He was real enthusiastic and excited about upcoming shit as always, but he couldn't really say shit. So
that was the guy painting the Wolverine prototype, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That must have been sick to see in person.
I was gonna ask you, Boog, how was it meeting fucking Dan from Toy Galaxy? Was he cool?
Oh, that was cool, man. He was on the line, and there was somebody else that was kind of geeking out meeting him, and Danny pointed him out to me. He was like, "Oh, that's Dan Larson." I'm like, "Who?" And he's like, "Toy Galaxy." I'm like, "Oh, right, Toy Galaxy or whatever." So I said, "Hey, man, what's up, man?"
Please tell me you gave him shit about those horrible fucking lists that they come out with.
I didn't even talk to him about the shit at all. But I said to him, I forget what I said to him at first. No, you know what? He noticed our shirts. He's like, "Oh, whatever." And I introduced myself, as my regular name. And he kind of looked dumbfounded and shit. I'm like, I'm Boog. He's like, "Oh, Boog. Oh, all right, cool." And then, we started chopping it up and shit. I was surprised. He was buying literally one thing. I think he was buying something for himself. And if I'm not mistaken, he said he was buying something for Robo from the Foosh and that they live very close to each other. But he wasn't buying mad shit. He was just there with one other person that helps him run the channel and shit. And we were just talking for a few minutes. He was real cool. Huh?
Was it producer Greg?
Okay. I'm not sure.
The other guy with him?
There was a guy with glasses, a little shorter than him. He's a real tall dude. He's taller than me, I think.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Or maybe we were about the same height. But he's a tall dude. Yeah, he was cool, man. He was cool. I didn't get into it. He was like, "Yo, man, I love what you do." And somebody had asked him about what he does. He's like, "Oh, we don't do anything crazy as far as posing or anything, and we do a lot of lists." And it's it's real I forget what the word is that he used, but he was saying it was real kind of cheesy without saying it was cheesy. Not cheesy, but
pedestrian.
Right.
Yeah, like real
Very, very family friendly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, I mean, if you look at the guys, yeah, that's kind of what you get from the channel. It's a lot of, Todd doesn't like them, but those list videos are fucking huge on YouTube.
It's funny.
People fucking love them.
He's getting a lot of hits. He's getting a lot of hits on his video, and he's got more fucking subscribers than me on that channel. So, and he's only
it's like people with Pixel Dan. A lot of people aren't fans of Pixel Dan because they say he's a little too happy and he's a little too family friendly. But he's a perfectly nice dude, and although I wouldn't do content the way that he does it, he does good stuff. Just same with I've not personally checked out this Toy Galaxy guy besides seeing those lists that I completely never agree with. But from the feel that I get from it, he's a similar friendly style channel. And do you?
He's doing his thing. I'm not mad at him.
No, not at all. There's room for everyone.
Yep. So, but yeah.
No, and I think the niche that he put out with his channel, I think is what pretty much anybody else is doing. So honestly, fucking good for him. Good for him and the whole channel.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Ever since we sadly lost Glenn, it kind of feels like that YouTube community for Marvel Legends or 6-inch figures in general has had something missing.
Yes,
definitely. And I actually spoke about that a bit after that I was going to step it up and do more stuff as far as Marvel Legends, being that that was a void, and yeah, people like Dan and myself and a few others have definitely tried to fill that. But mind you, understand that this is 5, 6, 7 different YouTubers filling the one void of Glenn Webb, though.
Yeah. I mean, although Glenn didn't have the most subscribers, obviously that's Shartimus. But Glenn always had the highest views per every video.
And you know what it was? Because his videos were so short and to the point. He didn't draw out anything. It was very clear and concise in the videos. You know what I'm saying? So that's it was formulaic, but he also had a lot of personality. Even though he stuck to a formula every video,
the formula is important though.
Yeah, he always had a little catchphrase. He always had a little way that he spoke that changed it feeling so robotic. It never felt that way. Although when you look back and you think back, it was very formulaic. Everything was the same. In that sense, it was still very different because of his personality.
It didn't hurt that he's got an English accent too. That always draws people in.
Right. But honestly, in terms of content creation like that on a regular basis, especially with YouTube, where it's something you have to upload fucking pretty much every day to really stay relevant, sticking to a formula is pretty important as far as getting things done on time. So
yeah,
I think that's a plus in his column because that's really how he got all that shit done so well.
Yeah, it's like you just said, the algorithm for YouTube, if you don't upload daily, they don't recommend you. And he uploaded daily without hesitation, sometimes double, and at the same time every day. So he was highly recommended, and you could tell that even though his subscriber count was lower than Shartimus, he was averaging much more views per video, and he was hitting landmarks views-wise quicker than Shartimus would because of the simple fact that he was uploading daily. He didn't use any crass words, and the algorithm agreed a lot with his channel. Although Shartimus is still fantastic with what he does on his own. He was just more friendly in a sense to the algorithm for whatever reason. It favored him a lot with what he did.
And really this was before YouTube's algorithm really got fucked up. And that's only been in the last. I mean, Glenn passed away a year ago, and it's only really been in the last year that things have the adpocalypse or whatever it's called, where all the ads are pulling out of YouTube.
It's like they were watching Glenn's channel and they were like, "Why don't we make everyone do that?" and that's what. Let's make everyone have to do what he.
Somebody dropped something.
I thought we had a second.
My bad. I just pulled into my house, so I'm gonna hang up and then I'm gonna get on my computer and rejoin the call.
Yeah.
Any questions on there? Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see what people are asking.
Somebody's asking if they would like to see what figures would you like to see Mezco make.
Oh, well.
Well, if they're gonna, if we actually get that, if we get that Iron Man, who's not going to be in cloth, if they start doing other figures that are not in cloth, that's going to be a game changer.
I want to say for like more personal reasons, but at the same time, because it would be impressive, I would love for Mezco to tackle a 1/12 scale Static Shock. Yeah, no, oh my God, Rick is talking about Static Shock. What a shock. But that coat would look really impressive done by them in that scale. You know, just personal things aside, you know, I can't think of a DC character that would look as impressive jacket wise for them to do and really showcase like their style for jackets and stuff like that in DC line. Obviously, Magneto would be incredible. You know, having the flowing cape and stuff like that, that would just be sick. You know, you look at the Revel Tech one that's coming, and you're just kind of like, because the cape looks so horrible. And you know, but the more stuff like that a character has, the more I think it's going to favor their style. You know, although we can't get Doctor Doom would have been great. I'd love for them to do Taskmaster, because it can go well with Deadpool, and it would just look impressive for them to do. You know, you get a hood, you get a cape. I think it would look really good.
I'd like to see a really good Vision.
Oh, Vision, that'd be fantastic. Kind of like Doctor Strange right now. Doctor Strange looks very impressive.
I'd love to see Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. Oh man, Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, and a classic Thor.
Yeah, classic Thor for sure. It's like we keep getting shit on not getting a classic from Hasbro. What else?
How about
wait, what did you say about Doctor Doom? Why can't we get a Mezco Doctor Doom?
Fox isn't allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, a Mezco Doctor Doom would be amazing.
Oh, somebody's got their speakers. I think it's you, Boog. Classic Gamora.
Oh yeah, classic Gamora would be good.
In her fishnet costume.
You know, as stupid as this sounds, when you really think about it, it doesn't exist, and who knows when it's going to exist. How about Mezco actually gives us a standard Batman? It doesn't exist. How can you not have a standard Batman or a standard Superman? They don't exist. The only Batman we have is Dark Knight Returns, and the next one we're getting is the weird pointy-eared one. I don't understand. Have these different versions of Batman, and we don't have a classic or a standard version.
Well, it could be due to licensing. You know,
I wonder, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why is there no Batman?
You know, Mezco has to do these like slightly tweaked versions of characters. You know, because
I forget this one that's coming. Maybe Fabio would know. Fabio, you know of the one that's coming pretty soon? He has really weird ears.
The Batman Ascending Knight.
Ascending Knight. Like, man, come on, man, cut this out. Where's the real?
Well,
where's the standard version?
The concept behind it is that it's meant to be. I mean, apparently Mez fucking loves Batman. It's like his favorite character, so he's pretty much going all out on their line. And it's basically like their trilogy of Batman figures. So it's like the Ascending Knight is like Batman Year One-esque. Then the next one's going to come out, it's going to be him in his prime. And then the third one will be like, you know, older Batman. But it's like, you know, the whole concept behind it is that it's their own original concept, you know. So can't really fault them too much for that. I do like that they do that, even if some people don't, because, you know, some people want that like first appearance Batman, full on purple gloves and wide cowl, and they want it to look just like the comic. But I appreciate what they did with this Ascending Knight. I'm not going to get it because I'm going to wait for that second one. But I appreciate what they did with it. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it would be cool, and I would appreciate it more if they just did the standard version first.
Yeah, that's why I'm holding up for that second version, because I think that'll be the definitive Batman from them.
Yeah, I just look at it and I'm just like, God, man, come on. Why couldn't you have just done a standard one first? And then this one.
They just want.
I like that it comes with
They're trying to tell a story, like a trilogy through action figures.
Tell him I already heard all the best stories. I just want the good figures.
Now I just want toys.
I just want the toys, brosif. I would understand more if they did like kind of like current costumes before they did even standard or classic ones. Like me and Pancho just had like a little back and forth with people on plastic and paint that were upset that Bandai made a Boruto, who's a Naruto son figure, who only recently just had a comic and a movie and stuff like that, and that there's not been classic legacy characters from the series of Naruto done. And me and Pancho kind of just said similar things where it's kind of like, well, he's popular now, so I mean, what if this comic just stops, it falls in popularity like a year from now or 2 years from now? They just pretty much won't ever do him then. So those standard, those like classic characters are always going to be classic.
Right.
Doing something modern makes a lot of sense for these companies, and I won't ever fault someone for doing something that's popular now and pushing back what's classic or what's timeless.
Right.
For what's popular right now.
That's exactly what Mezco said about, because they said that they were going to do an 89 Batman, so Michael Keaton Batman, which would be fantastic, but they pushed it in favor of, I think, their Ascending Knight trilogy or something like that, because it's like you said, 89 Batman's always going to be classic no matter what time you put him out.
Yeah, no question. Like, I mean, if they ever went back and did like an Adam West one too, you could do that like anytime.
And to go back to Bandai, I mean, the last few releases were the Time Patroller, Trunks and whatever, and those are from like a more recent game. They're not necessarily classic characters.
Yeah, exactly. What if we never get a Xenoverse game again? We're pretty much never going to get those figures then. Like, they're popular now. Now is the time to do those kind of things. And I don't fault them for doing that.
Actually, in my interview with Pierre, I mentioned the same thing about Classic Thor, because Boog, I've told you, Classic Thor is like what we need to really complete the big three for Mezco Avengers.
Yep.
So I asked him, what are the chances of that? Echoing. Okay. So who's echoing? Somebody's echoing.
That was Boog.
Oh, okay.
How can it be me? What do I have open? I don't know what's going on.
I'm just gonna mute.
Do you have headphones or do you have speakers? Because if it's
I'm on speakers, but it's all potted up like it's supposed to be. But anyway, so I told him, like, what we really need is a fucking classic Thor to go with these other two classic characters. And he's like, we were working on a classic Thor, but we actually pushed it back in favor of the Thor Ragnarok figures, because the same thing we're talking about right now. It's like we could put out a Kirby Thor in 3 years and it'll still be classic Kirby Thor. But this is the year for Ragnarok movies, so this is the Thor we're gonna do for now. But that doesn't mean that they won't ever do a classic Thor in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, just like anyone else. Well, I mean, now we don't have to complain about it because we are getting Tien and Yamcha. But I wanted Tien and Yamcha just as much as anybody else. I want the Master Roshi. I want the the Goten, and I want the Kid Trunks. But they can make those anytime.
We got a question here from Cerrone Games Go. Is anyone willing to rebuy Hasbro figures with the new face scanning sculpts on the figure coming in 2018?
1,000%. I mean, I basically rebought everything that I bought in Toy Biz, so I'm happy to rebuy anything again. If it means that the new ones are better, I don't mind at all. I mean, I'm a guy who probably has I don't know, maybe Pancho would give me a better number, but I have 10 different versions of Goku. So, I mean, they give me a bunch of updated versions of comic book characters. I'm going to buy them too. I mean, we just got Deadpool last year, and we just got the gray one now at HasCon. And they have the new one on display at HasCon with the butterfly joint. I'm going to buy that one too. As long as their improvements are being made, I'm going to keep buying them.
We got another question from Brian Carter. What other Defenders-like box sets would we like to see? Hey, is Boog gone?
I would. Oh, he's back. I would love to have a Jim Lee X-Men box set. Probably that and like a Sinister Six box would be great. I don't need no Spider-Man though. I got too many Spider-Mans. I don't need another one.
To go with your X-Men theme, though, I was gonna say a giant size X-Men because that's
Ooh,
Thunderbird, that's first appearance Storm, that's Colossus, classic costume.
Yeah, and
she's on that cover.
We had it with MU, so you'd have that black costume Storm,
right?
The
Nightcrawler, super 70s looking one with like the ring on the stomach area that connects the top and bottom.
Yeah, exactly. The Nightcrawler. And I think
Nightcrawler's on that one too.
The other one is what's that guy that what's that guy's name? Banshee. Banshee's on it, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was trying to think. Thunderbird's on that one though, right?
Yeah, Thunderbird, absolutely. Yeah, Warpath's brother that causes him to go on a quote unquote warpath.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Thunderbird dies in the comics, and Warpath comes back blaming the X-Men and wants to kill him.
And then Warpath dies, and this dude from Mortal Kombat named Nightwolf comes out and seeks revenge in the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Teaches Luke Cage how to channel his inner animal.
Oh my god.
His animality.
You have to access your inner animal. That movie was so fucking terrible. Which is funny because the first one wasn't as terrible.
I might get booted off. Yeah, I don't know because every time that I sign out and sign back in, I was trying to get the audio right. But let's take two more questions and get up out of here. I gotta go get dinner too.
Damn, right. We gotta eat, people. Come on, where's these questions at?
Mike De La Paz wants to know if there's a news on a casual costume Luke Cage. Well, I guess the Defenders box set technically.
Well, that's not really a casual costume. That look from the Defenders box set is kind of how he looked in when they were the mighty Avengers in the books, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a team that was comprised of mostly black people actually, and they had Spider-Man on the team and a couple other people. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I did ask Dwight about another Netflix wave if they were interested in doing that, and they said it was definitely a possibility. That was during the Q&A of the panel. I didn't record the Q&A. It was a pretty dull Q&A overall, but I did ask them that about the Netflix wave. Somebody asked about, trying to think what else stood out at Q&A. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what they're doing about Luke Cage, man. But we definitely need the Netflix Luke Cage, and we need the regular Marvel comic book Luke Cage and regular street clothes too.
Yeah, and if we get a Defenders Luke and Defenders Danny, then we have it all.
Pretty much
right there. You could easily head swap. So
what do we think? Did we talk about Defenders? I don't think we did. What do we think about?
We didn't talk about Defenders.
It was all right. It wasn't it was okay. I thought it was all right. I still think Danny is the weakest link, though. I mean, his that dude that plays Iron Fist is just, I don't know. I don't really like him. I don't really.
The Knight of Flowers.
Huh? Say it again.
That's Sir Loris, the Knight of Flowers.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. Just they didn't take the proper time needed with that actor and his training or the character itself, and I think that there was a reason that even in this new in Defenders, he was not like a very vocal character.
Yeah, at the very least, they could have put him on a rigorous like training schedule to make his body look really fit. At the very least, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he just looks like a surfer.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Like, man, there goes Kunu. He just caught a big wave.
He should have been Slim Diesel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he should have been